So our start with doTERRA was probably similar to a lot of folks.
Dave was not into the oils in the beginning. He didn't like the smell of peppermint. It was too strong. And my mother was living with us at the time. She has severe arthritis and had 2 knee and a hip replacement and was in a lot of pain. And so she was constantly putting on Deep Blue Rub and also Past Tense. And she just couldn't live without him. So she constantly smelled of oils, would you say? Or at least that was his perception.
Yes.
So much so that if she drove his car and he would then go to drive the car later and he could sense any amount of oil smell. It was like the radar went off. I smell oils, I smell oils. And I was like, are you kidding me? You don't smell oils all the time. You detect. It's like he was the radar, the oil radar. It's true. See, he can't even deny it. He can't deny it.
She coined a term. I don't even know how to come back with that one. So our progression started with a relatively solid no. It went to another no. Possibly a third or a fourth no, maybe.
Dave sat in the back with his arms folded like this.
I'm sure I did not do that.
Totally closed, closed-minded. It was very evident. And finally he said, we agreed that we would try to find some oils that he liked the smells of and diffuse those. He smelled the wild orange and he liked that. He's like, okay, I like the citrus oils. So we found common ground and began to...
I really like those, actually.
And that's, I think at that time, you began to research some more and realize that there was some science behind these, which he just was closed-minded to before.
For me, it came to a point where I actually had to understand. We were really using them. We would use them from everyday cold and flu issues to burns, mosquito bites, using it on little infections that we would wrap up on the fingers. I began to look into what is the pronounced benefit of using these. And one of the nice things is their simplicity. When you have an independent molecular compound that is not a combination of multiple things, you have a tendency to be able to say, here's your cause and effect. And that's a really nice thing because it means I'm not actually looking at a broad spectrum of things and trying to understand which one of them is actually working.
As I became a stronger user of it, I decided, hey, let's go try putting diffusers in his dental practice. And he was agreeable to that and was still in that adoption phase. But we went ahead and we started diffusing the oils in the office and wanted to see how his staff liked it. It wasn't too long before they were actually fighting over, is it wild orange or lemon or who gets to choose the scent of the day. And then you started getting thank you letters from patients.
We actually have an entire, what you would say is an entire bulletin board of thank you cards, of just thanking us for giving them better care and the way in which we cared for them. But that really means a lot because we really do try hard. And there's not one person at the office that either doesn't use the oils themselves, doesn't believe in them, and doesn't try and empower others. Every single person in our office is a believer in them through personal experience, not because I asked them to, but because they actually wanted to use it.
I think a big part of that their experience at the office is the change in the mood, the mood elevation that comes from the citrus oils. And we experience that at home too, where I can take kids that are crying and fighting with each other and having a fit, and I can just go diffuse my oils and they don't really maybe know what's going on, and it's exciting to have a tool, another trick to change that atmosphere rather than just sending a child to their room to cry it out.
And that for me was another wonderful point. How many dads get the opportunity to sit down with their teenagers, and as their teenagers going through that time where they really don't want dad involved in their space, here's my son saying, Dad, hey, rub my feet.
Come rub my feet.
Come hang out with me. It was my opportunity to talk to him about his day. I would say wholeheartedly, what's been wonderful for our family is it is a hybrid of the best that modern medicine has to offer in conjunction with the best that our earth has to offer. When you blend those two things together, it really is powerful. And it's something that we really look forward to as a family.